Welcome, Eurovision fans! It's 2019, and we're ready to talk about Czech Republic. The Czech Republic will be represented in 2019 by Lake Malawi with the song Friend of a Friend. So what is my word to describe this song? Distance. And that's because what the song is saying, you are trying to distance yourself from another person by saying she's only a friend of a friend of a friend. As the song is written about a potentially jealous new partner who sees a person or hears them and questions you. What is your relationship with this person? Are you and her a thing? Are you my person? You're trying to distance yourself from that other person. She's a friend of somebody else. She's only in the band. I knew her when I was 13, but we're not close now, or what you say. So the song is really about distancing yourself from another person to help calm the fears of your partner. Lake Malawi. How did they get that name? Well, I saw in an interview courtesy of Wee Blogs that answered that question, and lead singer Albert was the one who answered it. I was wondering why the band was named after a lake in Africa. Or maybe if the lead singer had some crazy hippie parents that thought they were being esoteric by naming their son that. So it turns out they actually named their band Lake Malawi after a song called Calgary by American indie folk band Bon Iver. Albert was depressed at the time due to his other band, Charlie Straight, breaking up, and he listened to Calgary on repeat as a result. It has some kind of sad and depressing lyrics, and there's a particular line where it talks about, quote, storming on the lake, unquote, and those lyrics inspired him to name the band. So, in short, Lake Malawi came from song lyrics from this particular song. Lake Malawi is a trio of guys. Albert on vocals, guitar and keyboards, Jeronim, I definitely butchered that name, on bass and keyboards, and Antonin on drums. So what's good about this song? Well, you can't call this song boring, that's for sure. Musically, it's quite impressive, and I love the accompanying drums and keyboards. The singing is good. Albert's falsetto is nice. For a song like this, which I normally would not like, I find it overall appealing. An off note here. I think it's funny to hear Albert sing because he sounds more British when he sings than when he speaks. A funny story from when I was probably 4 or 5 years old, I used to ask my mom why British people sang normal English but then talked funny when they weren't singing. So Albert is actually Czech, but probably had a British instructor, so that explains the pronunciation. It's not a good or bad thing, just something I found interesting in the song. It actually gives the song a lot of life and just brings another element to it. I feel that this song is composed very well. It's already ready to go for Eurovision. It's under 3 minutes, and I can't say there are a lot of changes that need to be made here. It feels like Czech Republic, much like last year, is ready to go and hit the ground running with a polished song. Czech Republic has really become a strong Eurovision country. Their first qualification in 2016 seems to really have inspired them immensely. So, what are some potential problems with this song? For me, personally, this is not my style of music at all. This is a song that, for me, is a probable grower. I didn't like it so much when I first listened to it, but then I played it over and over, and I started catching little musical nuances that I really enjoyed, with the keyboards, with the background music, and it turned me around a little bit. While I'm not particularly impressed with the vocals overall, it's not like they're bad. It's not like Albert has a bad voice. He's gonna definitely be overshadowed by many of the other singers in the competition. I started appreciating the song later down the road. I feel many may feel the same way as I do. If they are watching on Eurovision night and have never heard this song before, this might not be one that they take to right away at that moment. It does stick out musically, though, and it is completely distinct from any sound I've heard in the past few years at Eurovision. So it might be a hook rather than a problem. We'll have to see. I just had to throw that out there for potential problems for that reason. Lyrically, the song is simplistic. This isn't a song that I would call deep nor inspiring, but it doesn't really need to be. It's not going to be the most impressive vocally, as I mentioned, but again, that's irrelevant. After watching Eurovision for the past couple of years, I know the best vocalists are mostly overshadowed by songs that are more popular. This is not a dig at last year. I've noticed this many times. Some of the most incredible vocalists don't even qualify because there are other songs that have more fans. And that's just kind of the way it goes with Eurovision. I think this song has a chance to be popular. It's entertaining, and that's what matters most at Eurovision. It sounds a bit retro, while quite contemporary, all at the same time. So what's my rating for this song going to be? I'm going to put it right in an 8. I think 8 is a very good number for what I'm feeling for it right now, because I feel like it's above average, which would be, about a 7. So I think it's definitely more on an 8 level. It's definitely not one of my favorites, and I would say right now, after hearing the 4 songs, it's probably still my 3rd favorite overall. But it's a solid song, a solid entry. It's not annoying at all. There's nothing really bad about it. I just feel like there's going to be much better songs throughout the competition. But again, the quality of the music's pretty nice, and it's very easy listening. This is one that I could see myself listening to over and over again, or getting stuck in my head and not being annoyed with it. So yeah, it's a solid piece of music, and it's got that, as I mentioned again, retro plus contemporary feel, which really makes it feel quite modern and a little edgy for being a little different in that regard. So is this song a contender or a pretender? Well, we're going to look at it from 2 aspects. Is it a contender to qualify or a pretender? For qualification, this song is a contender. I absolutely believe that this will be one of the songs that qualifies. It has that sound that should carry it into the finals. I do not believe any part of me says this will not qualify. We haven't heard the other songs, but just from thinking of the past, what qualifies and how different this song is, I believe that this is a for sure qualifier. Now let's look at it from the contender versus pretender for winning the contest, actually. So I'm going to call this a dark horse contender. It does have a sound that I think could win, but I think it also has a sound that could get lost in the shuffle in the grand scheme of the finals. It's, for me, when I hear it, I picture it as probably a 10 to 15 range song. It kind of feels like where it's at, which would give it an outside shot at jumping into the top 10 and potentially being a strong contender. But that's where I feel about it at the moment, is that it's got promise of being in the 10 to 15 range. So we'll see how it comes out, but I definitely will call it a dark horse contender because I am not willing to write this song off as a potential winner at Eurovision. So here's the section where we look at Czech Republic at Eurovision, my rankings versus the official placings of the song. So in 2015, I felt Czech Republic was absolutely robbed. I thought Hope Never Dies was a brilliant song that placed 34th. But I had it in my top 10 at number 10. Number 2016 was a song that at the beginning I wasn't too excited at, but really, really turned me around on. I Stand was very nicely performed and served as Czech Republic's very first qualification into the finals. It ended up placing 25th, but I had it ranked as my number 19th song. In 2017, I actually was completely spot on with the placings in my rankings. We both had it placed at number 33. It was a nice song, but I didn't feel much more for it other than it just being a nice song in general. In 2018, Mikolas Josef, the song was Lie to Me, and while it wasn't my type of music at all, much like this, I actually like this a lot better, just to be completely clear, where last year with Mikolas it took a lot longer to get around on. He placed 6th, and I had him at 28th. Where this year, this song should be, I would guess, inside my top 20, probably around 15 to 18, but that's just me guessing because I don't know what it's going to be up against. This is an enjoyable song that I think I could actually grow into loving rather than just liking a lot. So we'll see where it goes. I've only gotten to listen to it for a day now, so we'll see how I feel down the road, but I think this is one that'll grow rather than recede. Thank you for watching my review of Czech Republic at Eurovision 2019. I've got a lot of videos to make that are coming up. Look for my knockout game to begin. I'm going to be putting songs that come out in the order they come out. That's how we're going to determine who goes against who in round one. So Spain versus France will be out today, January 28th, and I will start that. Each head-to-head will have 1 week to vote on, and you'll vote within the video there, so I don't have the awful like versus dislike to determine who wins each matchup. I will do a video poll within the video, so look for the knockout videos to start today, and as soon as we get multiple songs from each semifinal, we'll get right into it, because I don't want to waste any time and then run out of time. So you'll have the 4 categories: semifinal 1, semifinal 2, the big 5, and then you'll have the losers with the highest votes competing in 4 different categories. So I'll explain it more later. Okay, this video is getting a little long, so for now, Lethargic Sloth, out.